The Simulation versus Soren Kierkegaard. Greetings, fellow scouts of the kingdom! Today, we embark on a different cosmic odyssey, delving into the enigmatic connection between the simulation, the anxiety crisis, and the wisdom of Soren Kierkegaard. Buckle up for a ride that's part philosophy, part reality check, and entirely a quest for meaning. Simulation and anxiety. The anxiety crisis. Our modern-day emotional roller coaster. The anxiety crisis is on trend these days. Very popular and widely discussed, according to the data, nearly 40 million adults in the US alone struggle with anxiety. This natural emotion is nowadays totally amplified by the technological times we are living in. The struggle for authenticity becomes a silent battle against the angst that whispers, "Is this all there is?" So, how do we navigate this chaotic dance between pixels and palpable existence? In a world filled with simulated perfection on our screens, we also have to struggle with another alternative reality, the one created by our own minds, the one that causes us unrest and anxiety. What has this to do with the simulation? You may ask. In this thought exploration, we ask a daring question: is there a secret dance between the simulation and the anxiety crisis? Picture it as a celestial tango where the threads of illusion intertwine with the fabric of our mental landscapes. Bostrom's simulation hypothesis. Enter philosopher Nick Bostrom and his simulation hypothesis. Bostrom and other philosophers constitute a brainy bunch that make the big question: are we living in a simulation? The odds are stacked in favor of our reality being a bit of a cosmic puppet show. If you take into account, statistics? Today, let's assume for a moment that the simulation hypothesis is true and we're not merely cosmic drifters but players in a grand puppet show. But here's the twist. According to philosopher David Chalmers, proving the simulation correct would not change much. It would only give us knowledge about the nature of things. Knowing the nature of the cosmic strings wouldn't alter the way we navigate life. Moreover, Chalmers suggests that, even if we live within a simulation, we can still live perfectly satisfying lives. This idea makes sense, especially considering that the simulation provides us with all we need: food, shelter, hospitals, and even video games. It crafts our comfort zones, liberating us from the primal demands of survival. It provides all that we need, not only to survive, but also to thrive and become the best version of us. Nozick's experience machine. Now, consider the enigmatic experience machine. Nozick's experience machine is a thought experiment presented by philosopher Robert Nozick. The experience machine is an imaginary device that can provide individuals with any experience they desire, creating a simulated reality that feels completely real. Imagine that your brain is plugged into a simulated reality offering boundless bliss. Picture a cosmic Disneyland offering eternal joyrides, eating pasta and playing Tetris, or whatever you like, all the time, with no negative consequences. Nozick poses the question: if given the choice, would you plug into the experience machine for a life filled with continuous pleasure and happiness, even if it meant disconnecting from the real world? So, imagine standing at the crossroads, much like Cypher in the film The Matrix. Why wouldn't you prefer to remain comfortably plugged into Nozick's experience machine, blissfully unaware? 19th century Danish philosopher Soren Kierkegaard would answer something like, because deep within, you would know is fake, and that knowledge would produce what he called existential angst. We should never forget what Sigmund Freud, the psyche detective, suggested 100 years ago, that hiding traumas in the subconscious can lead to a psychological time bomb ticking within. So, it's not just a philosophical puzzle but a psychological labyrinth. Kierkegaard's existential angst. Kierkegaard's angst is that nagging feeling when you stare into the abyss of the unknown and think, What on earth am I doing here? Kierkegaard's angst isn't just an unwelcome hitchhiker on this journey, it's the connecting thread. It's the unease that bubbles up when we question the very fabric of our reality. How do we confront it? How do we dance with anxiety while navigating the simulated landscapes of our lives? Now, old Kierkegaard wouldn't just leave you hanging in the chaos of angst. No. He'd recommend a healthy dose of self-reflection and a little soul-searching. Figure out what truly matters to you. What are your core beliefs, your values, your passions? By navigating through this angst with introspection, you can find a path to a more authentic and meaningful existence. Embrace the absurd. What if I told you that the anxiety buzzing in your brain might just be another layer of this cosmic charade? Could our brains be conjuring up a whole alternate reality in their quest to predict the future? And would it make sense that, approaching our anxiety-created simulation, the same way we would approach the ancestors-created simulation, provide the ultimate escape from Kierkegaard's angst? Now, let's focus on Kierkegaard and his solution to the cosmic puzzle: embrace the absurd. It's not about escaping the labyrinth but facing the minotaur within. To put it simply, confronting the ugly truth, for the alternative could be cosmic disaster. Like Theseus, the Greek mythology character who did not shy away from the problem at hand. Instead of succumbing to fear or trying to hide, he confronted the minotaur directly within the labyrinth. Leaning into that angst. So, when you're knee-deep in that swamp of existential dread, Kierkegaard would say, "Hey friend, it's time to confront those fears head-on." Instead of running away or drowning in the abyss of uncertainty, he'd suggest leaning into that angst. Take a good, hard look at those big scary questions about life, purpose, and meaning. Don't shy away from the discomfort, embrace it. In simpler terms, Kierkegaard would be like, yeah, life can be a roller coaster of doubts and fears, but don't let it throw you off. Grab the existential minotaur by the horns, reflect on your inner self, and find your own way through the maze of angst. It's like turning the angst into a compass that guides you toward a more genuine and purposeful life. The key idea here is to face the fire faithfully. Plunge headlong into the depth of the simulation. Picture Dante throwing himself into the inferno. Frodo the Hobbit into the fires of Mount Doom in Mordor, or Carl Jung into the abyss of his own unconscious. Remember, it's not real, it's a simulation.
It's St. Elmo's fire.
All these characters claim the same solution. The only way out is to journey deep within. Or, how Kierkegaard would say, embrace the absurd. Courage acquisition. I know at this time you would be a little, or very skeptic. Face the abyss and throw yourself headlong? That's your advice, Kierkegaard? But not everyone is Theseus. Not everyone is born with a cosmic courage cape. The proper question echoes, can courage be acquired? The answer, my fellow Kingdom Scouts, is a resounding yes. And that should be the journey of our next exploration, so keep tuned. As we navigate the kingdoms of simulations, anxiety, and courage, remember, it's not just a philosophical pursuit but a cosmic adventure into the depths of our own existence. Stay tuned for our next entry as we delve deeper into the acquisition of courage. Until then, if you are interested in understanding how the simulation works, come with us into Terra Incognita. Keep tuned to this channel, subscribe, and most importantly, keep curious.